I posted my review of Touch Grind 2, and I was flooded with comments from you guys about True Skate and talking about how it's so much better. Well, I thought I would trust you guys and give it a try. But I got off to a pretty bad start with this game. It's only $1.99, which is great, but for that price you get almost nothing. Everything else is added on. The menus are confusing, probably because the design is so bad. Just look at this game. White text on gray scribble was out of date 20 years ago. Let's say you want to set a session marker. That's a pretty basic thing in a skateboarding game these days. Here's how you do it. You have to go down a couple menus deep in the options and scroll way down, even below the HUD opacity. They expect people will need to access that more often than the session marker? Another weird thing is the spin mechanic. You aren't told how to do it, and it's listed in the options as spin cam, which isn't very clear. Now I'm afraid to hit any button in this game because it might cost me money or require me to sign up for something, like the slow motion button. Every time you hit that, it tries to charge you $1. So I signed up and did a few challenges. Later I came back and all my progress was gone. I didn't want to sign up through Facebook, but I ended up having to do that just to make sure my progress was stored. The game feels good at least. After playing Touch Grind, it was tough to get used to a single touch skateboarding game, but it works and I got used to it in time. I had to switch it to Goofy for it to make sense though. Touch Grind also has a landscape mode for tablets, which is sorely missing here. So here's how the game works. There are high score challenges, but primarily you'll be copying a trick or a line. You watch the ghost skater do the trick, then duplicate it exactly. For this one, I had to ollie impossible out of this ramp. After trying it dozens and dozens of times, I adjusted the sensitivity of the swipe, and eventually I started to land the trick, but it was saying it was only a 40 to 50% match. I did an impossible, right? Yeah, but I had to pop and land in the exact correct spots, which makes it unreasonably difficult. Now, being set to Goofy makes matching tricks confusing. I have to match the direction of the trick, not the trick itself. Here's an example. I had to do a front shove late heel flip instead of a pop shove late kick flip. Also, I had to triple heel flip this ramp. In this case, I had to do a triple kick flip instead of a heel flip. So I did the trick a few times, but it wasn't registering. Even though I landed in the right spot and rolled through the end part, I had to turn around and roll through it again. But that means that my accuracy was lower and I got less points. Accuracy is pretty strange. Here, I have to match this trick. It's a backside lip slide, varial double heel flip back to lip slide. But look at my match. I did a board slide, varial heel flip out, then a second board slide. That was still good enough to count. Tricks like that made me think that the developers were just messing around and decided to make a random trick into a challenge. Now I could have done a trick worth the same amount of points really easily, but to do that exact trick, rolling up at the same angle, popping in the exact same spot, timing it exactly the same, that makes it incredibly difficult. And I have to mention the insane grinds you have to do. Look at this endless no slide. He pushes once and just holds onto it for an hour until he hits a wall. I tried it 100 times and almost never made it to the first kink. Once I bounced a little weird and did the whole slide. I thought it would be worth at least a bronze, but I got a 0% match. Come on! Sometimes it counts the ollie, sometimes it calls the pop shove it. It's impossible to do exactly what the challenge did. A lot of reviews say the best way to play this game is to ignore the missions and just free skate in realistic mode. So I bought some more levels for an additional $5. Ignoring the missions is really your only option anyway, because all these levels I bought don't even have any, not counting the high score challenges. Look at the point totals you get for completing these, it's nothing. The cheapest stuff is about 10,000 points. 20 points aren't going to get you very far. So after playing the game about 2 weeks, I finally saved up enough to make my own deck. My deck was looking horrible, which they do to try to get you to pay for a new one, but some decks are 20,000 points, and there are no missions left except the impossible ones. You earn points just by doing good tricks, but it's very slow. There are also achievements, which are also impossible. One was to do 10 kickflips in a row. That's pretty simple. Here's me completing it, but it didn't count. I actually did it several times, but it never worked. So the missions aren't any good, the achievements are broken, and the point system is unbalanced. So what did I get for $7? Basically, I got a skateboard, some skate parks, and a physics engine. But without any structure, it's just a toy, really. It's like a glorified tech deck. Now there's nothing really wrong with that, but I didn't really get it at first. But now that I understand what's going on with the game, I try to enjoy it more for what it is. I would just come up with tricks I wanted to do and spend time working on them until I landed them, just like skateboarding or fingerboarding. One more issue with the game is the course selection. I bought the Street League set, which is pretty cool, but they're all really similar. Of course, for the actual contest that makes sense. There are only a couple different lines you can take and each course has very similar obstacles, but I can't even tell them apart. I keep forgetting which levels I've played in already. Whenever the Tony Hawk series featured a real-life location, they would always add something to it. An outdoor area, a secret back room, an attic, something to make it a little more interesting for the video game. But True Skate makes no such effort. There are more skate parks available, but you have to pay for them. Maybe I'll try some in the future. But what game is better? True Skate or Touch Grind 2? It all depends what you're looking for. If you want a true video game experience, a game that starts you with a tutorial, gives you increasingly difficult challenges, then rewards you with unlockables, it's gotta be Touch Grind. But if all you want is a virtual skateboard to play around with, you want as many levels and as many tricks as possible, then go for True Skate. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. You can get them both pretty cheaply. Touch Grind 2, the first level, completely free. True Skate, you gotta pay $2. So for $2, you can play them both and decide for yourself. And if you've played them both, which one did you like more? Let me know. And what about Skater, the new one? I haven't played it yet. Where does that fit in with everything? Thanks for watching.